Hey everybody, Doug A798 here. This is my re-review of both of the Ninja Turtles films, of the Michael Bay produced Ninja Turtles films, and my defense of both of the Michael Bay produced Ninja Turtles film. Of course, got to start off with the 2014 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film. When I first heard about this film back in 2010, I think it was 2010, I was excited. I was excited, especially when I heard that Michael Bay was the director of the film. This guy did some great things in the Transformers films. He can do wonders with the Ninja Turtles films, which, in my opinion, was much easier to adapt to screen than Transformers. Um, Over time, after hearing more news, 4 years late, 3 to 4 years later, that excitement would turn to disappointment when I heard all the changes Michael Bay was making to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise. This is when I started hating on the Ninja Turtles franchise, and I would have joined the Ninja Turtles protests if it wasn't for the fact that the Ninja Turtles protest was made up of the same people from the Dragon Ball protest, who I absolutely can't stand. Can't even be in the same group with them. So I didn't never join the TMNT protest. And of course, just in case the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie might be good, I want to at least say I gave it a chance, on this slim chance that it might be good. Of course, I was still hating onto the film. That was until I watched an episode of AMC Theater with John Campia, and they showed us the new leak shots of what the Turtles would look like in the 2014 Ninja Turtles film. And I was like, well, at least the film looks good. At least the film is something good to look at. Something look good to look at. Then I hear the changes. They changed several things back to what's closer to what they were, such as Shredder being Caucasian. They transformed him back into an Asian, and and these things um made me more a little bit more positive towards the film. Then I started supporting the film when I saw the cool Shell Shock video by rappers Ty Dolla Sign, Wiz Khalifa, and Juicy J, which also showed footage of the Ninja Turtles film, the Turtles fighting Shredder, which looked awesome. Then of course the various TV spots showing the trailers for the film. Then of course this right here made me a huge supporter of the 2014 film when Michael Bay announced that if the first film did well, they would include Bebop, Krang, Bebop, Rocksteady, Krang, and Casey Jones in sequels. That alone made me want to watch this film, and I said if this film and I at least and because and I at least wanted and I at least wanted this the first film, the first Ninja Turtles film, to at least be decent, and it was better than decent. It was awesome. Got a couple of problems with it now after watching it several more times, but this film was awesome. This film was awesome. I love the brand new story. I love the brand new storyline involving the turtles and April. I love how they were closer together in this incarnation, with April O'Neil watching them and protecting them, saving them from a fire and putting them in the sewer, and the mutagen causes them to grow into the mutant forms you see on the cover. You see on the cover right here. Let's love the whole realistic design of the turtles, with them being mutants, and of course the sweat and everything, and I love the idea of using motion capture performers versus guys in costumes so the turtles can do over the top stunts. In the old films, the stuntmen and actors could barely move in the costumes. Here, the turtles can do all the stuff they do. Can do all the stuff like the roof. top jumping and all the acrobatics they do in the comics and cartoons. They can do all of that in the films, and this film was perfect. This film was, and I like how this film, while being a reimagined version of the Turtles, took stuff from this film took stuff from the cartoons. This film was a took stuff from the cartoons, the 80s cartoon, the 2003 cartoon, and the current 2012 cartoon, because the turtles appear different. The turtles appear different in this incarnation than they did in previous ones. Uh, I also like how they were given cosmetics that best reflects their personality, and I like how it just wasn't stereotypical like I initially thought it was. There was an explanation on why they all look the way they do. It just wasn't them giving them such as Mikey having a skateboard. It wasn't just them giving Mikey a skateboard because that's cool today. No, there's a reason he has it. There's a reason that they have their cosmetics in the film. Um, and I also like the realistic. I initially had a problem with this, and that was giving the turtles superhuman strength, and making them bulletproof. I initially had a problem with that. That was until um I watched the film and understood this story more. If the turtles if the turtles don't have superhuman strength and aren't bulletproof, then why doesn't no one just shoot them? Why doesn't no one, in the original comics and movies, no one appears to ever have a gun? They ever have a gun? And if the turtles aren't like superhumanly strong, then what's stopping any bad guy from taking over the city? Especially Shredder. I still can't get over the fact that in the original TMNT versions, that's the movie and the comics, in the movie, Shredder gets beat by Splinter, a rat who learned martial arts from watching his master. Then in the comic books, he gets beat by the Turtles, a group of normal turtles who are mutated by ooze and trained in martial arts by their master, who I think copied martial arts in this version, copied martial arts from his master's cage. So how were they able to beat a ninjutsu master like Shredder? So I like this version better. The turtles are superhumanly strong, but Shredder, they have guns, technology, and Shredder's a better martial artist than the turtles are. And I like how and like that in the film. And actually, William Fichtner, who was originally supposed to be Shredder, he was so awesome in the film. You could have done that. I actually had a problem with them making Fichtner Shredder, but you know what? Looking back, because as good as this film had a lot of plot holes. You can tell they made several changes to the script. That's why I usually don't forgive this, but when it comes to Ninja Turtles, I do. You can tell that they made several changes to the scripts because there are several plot holes in the film. There's several plot holes, but some of the original story concepts, such as Fitchner being a Shredder, they should have kept. It would have made the story would have made more sense. The storyline would have made more sense. So yeah, like I said, the first one was an awesome film. Now time for the second one. And like I said in various reviews of the second Ninja Turtles film, Out of the Shadows took everything that was good about the first film and made it even better. They also took everything that was bad about the first film and improved on it in this film. Such as the one thing I loved about Out of the Shadows, much better than the original Ninja Turtles, was one thing I did not like about the Ninja Turtles, the first Ninja Turtles film, the 2014 film, was I didn't like how they focused on the humans more than the turtles and the foot. When the turtles and the foot were probably like the best things about the film, and we paid a ticket to see the turtles. Not that April and Vernon was great, but like I said, I paid the ticket to see the turtles and the foot. And in this film, or they focus more on the turtles. They also added more depth to the turtles with the turtles wanting to get out to be seen. They also gave them new character designs. I like their original character designs from the first movie better, but I love their new character designs in this one too. I also, well, of course, love the inclusion of Bebop and Rocksteady. Both actors were great, and Sheamus, I like him much better as an actor than I do as a professional wrestler. Then of course the new guy Brian T. Shredder. There was nothing wrong with the first guy, but this new guy Brian T. in my opinion is much better. He's even more menacing than the first one was. Sucks he didn't get to do much in this film, but of course in this film he didn't have all his equipment and stuff he had in the first one. And I also like how they made this film. They made the Out of the Shadows film more for the fans of the series. They made this more for the fans of the series. The outro even had a remix of the Turtles Power, the Heroes in a Half Shell Turtle Power theme song from the '80s cartoon. And like I said, this whole movie reminded me of the '80s cartoon and the 2000 and the current 2012 cartoon. Krang, it wasn't him, but the guy voicing Krang in this film sounded just like the original Krang from the '80s cartoon. And Tyler Perry as Baxter Stockman was awesome. Baxter Stockman was awesome. Of course, he was African American, just like in the original comics in the 2003 cartoon and the current cartoon on Nickelodeon right now. But he'll turn into the Fly just like he did in the '80s cartoon in the sequel, if the sequel is ever made, and I hope they make the sequel. The film is slowly and slowly making back his budget. It's already made $193 at the box office, so hope it makes more so they can make that part three. Because, like I said, and I think Out of the Shadows already, along with Civil War, in my opinion, are the two best films of 2016 already. With Civil War, Out of the Shadows, Batman v Superman, and X Men Apocalypse being my favorite films of this year already. Um, yeah, this was my review of both of the Turtles films. In the next part, I'm gonna defend both movies. All right, Dugout.